Hello, my name is Stephanie Toman, and we've got another presentation skills beyond the basics. This one's going to be looking at slide master or master slides, as we say. Great area to use, good to know how it works. Some people get a little bit wary of it, but once you get a handle on it, it's good. You can customize other presentations within there as well, so you can switch between different company presentations that might look very different, etc. using this. So the main purpose of the slide master, when you get the resources that go with this, the lecture materials for the slide master too, you'll see that the main purpose of it is to keep your presentation with a uniform view. In other words, your titles are all the same size, same color, your bullet levels are all the same. You can change them all in one place, and then on the front end of the presentation, they all automatically meet those settings. Okay, so we'll be looking at that, and there's a little bit about templates and some little tools that you can use with regard to using slides from elsewhere without copying and pasting. So hopefully, if you're looking for something in this area, hopefully this will work. Thank you. The slide master is, as it says here, it gives a uniform view to a PowerPoint. So in other words, all of your headings will be the same font size, the same font, and the same colors. So everything keeps nice and consistent. You can have the same bullets for level 1, the same bullets for level 2. You can see that these actually aren't. So you can change all of that within a master slide. So let's just look at the next slide and see what we've got. So you can see here, you can select a master slide and you can make all the changes. What you've got to be really aware of is that you're making it the top slide, the master. Okay, we go back to the previous one, this one. Let's change the way this one looks by using a slide master. So in the view tab up here, there is the slide master there. If you hover on it, it says controls the look of your entire presentation, so you don't need to change every title every time. If you put bullets in and they change, you don't need to worry about it. And lots of other things that we can do as well in a master. So let's go in here first. Remember we talked about the master, the main master, so you need to scroll right up and make sure you see the one that's used by majority of the slides, in this case 1 to 22. If you put it into the other one, it's not going to work. I'm going to have a look at that in a minute. So the main one at the top, well, you could change this top font here, going back to the Home tab. You can make that into 48. We can make it red, just so it stands out for us. We could change the font to, let's do a Comic Sans. See, come on. Oops. Trying to get a Comic Sans to come up. Maybe an Arial might be better. Arial Black's really standing out. We can make the bullets, this first bullet, we can actually do a numbering. Let's do a bullet. So let's do a large hollow square bullet for the first level. The second level, oops, let's do bullets that are small square bullets. And this one, just for fun, if we go to bullets, oops, let's do that again, took it off. Let's go to bullets numbering at the bottom, customize, and let's put a smiley face on that one. There's loads in here. If you go to wingdings, right towards the end, you've got lots of things that you could use, telephones, there's the wingdings too as well. So we're going to OK and OK that through. Let's make sure that bullet's on. Didn't pick it up, probably because I was messing around showing you something else. There we go. So now when we go back to the Slide Master tab, can move around away from it. So remember, it's always there. And you must close it in order to see the front end of your PowerPoint again. When we do that, notice how they all have what I've applied. I think there's one I noticed where it didn't. So on the odd occasion, what you could do, it's probably because it's been put in differently to the others. So you could just make sure that that applies. It's because it's been put in as a separate placeholder. Not very nice, I know, but I've done it just so that you can see the difference it can make. So going back, let's leave that in before we go. Let's try bringing in what they call a logo or a picture or a graphic. And let's see what happens if we put it on the wrong slide. So we're going to insert, we're going into our folder again. We're going to get our pictures. And we're going to bring in the ostrich, the good old ostrich. Now I'm on the right slide, but let's say I cut that and I was sitting on this slide. And I paste it, comes in. I thought, oh, I've got it. And I pop it in the corner there and I reduce it. And let's pretend it's an ostrich logo. And notice how it doesn't sit on each slide. Now a logo brought through the master slide should be seen on every slide. So I did, in this first sense, go and do the right thing by bringing it in on the master. And notice how quickly you can see that now on every slide. Remember, these graphics, you cannot delete them from the front because they've been inserted through the master. So if you need to remove them, you need to go into the master, slide master, all the way to the top. If you go to this one again and try to get it, can't get it, back up to the main master, click on it, hit the delete key, and it will work. I'm just going to do all of that because I completely ruined the presentation, and hopefully we're back to some sort of normality. Okay, so let's continue, and we're going to follow this. We're going to open up a new presentation, blank new presentation first. There it is. I'm going to minimize this so that we can see both. I'm going to follow this here. So if we go into View and then Slide Master, remember to go to the very top slide, the one used by slides, the main one. We're going to change the title placeholder back into the Home tab, and we're going to go for Arial. So it's not far off. Arial, rounded, empty, bold, and 48. Type it in. And then we're going to format the background. So format this area here, right click, make sure you're in the format background area. And we're going to go for a gradient, linear, which is on there, that's the type. And then direction is diagonal top left, bottom right. So diagonal top left, bottom right. So it's the first one. Okay, so we've done that. I haven't seen if it applies to all, but let's apply it to all. Okay, good. Right, so while that's there, we go back to the other PowerPoint and then drop down onto the next one. The next one talks about master slide date, footer, slide number, placeholders, and changing levels. So back to our, can switch between them here. There we go, haven't named it yet. So what we can do is you can see that on here you've got your dates. Let's bring it up a bit so you can see page number, footer, and date. And in the exam, you don't have to go into the master slide to do these. If we go back, if we go to the slide master and close, we've now taken that, we've got that. When we put in a new slide, title and contents, everything will be affected to that. So that's the consistency. If we go into the insert one, we've actually got this header and footer option here. It's date and time on its own, slide number on its own, header and footer, you can do everything. So it's a really easy way of putting stuff onto slides without having to go into the master slide and do it. And they considered that as okay. So you don't need to go all the way to the slide master to do that. We're going back into our PowerPoint, so back to view, and let's switch back over. So we've seen that. I showed the bullets earlier, how you can change all those on a right click. And other things, okay, let's have a look at Slide Master in action and how that main slide, Master of Masters, can affect things. So we're just going to follow this. So what we're going to do is go for a new presentation, again, a blank one. I'll minimize this so that you can see what we're doing over here. Okay. This is the main one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the View Slide Master. We're following this. The main title, go up to the main title, has got to be this one on the Master. So we're going to do this in Broadway. So Home, drop down, type in BR, and then we should be able to find Broadway. Go down a little bit. There it is. So we've done that in Broadway, and it's Broadway 50. Type it in to make life easier. And then it's talking about the subtitle in the title holder. So it's actually this one. This is your subtitle. It's only one in the title placeholder, the main title slide. So we're going to change this into 36 points and Tahomey. So go in there, drop down, TA, Tahomey, and that one's changed as well. This is close the master. So back to slide master and close. Okay, so we've got one slide there. It says to add. So I'm going to make sure that when I add it, it's going to be a title and content. And then I can right click and next new slide because they'll all stay as title and content. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4. So add 3 new. So in the first one, we're going to call it slide 1. Second one, they're all following suit. 2. Slide 3. And slide 4. Couple of things here. Slide 4, if you've got a slide master taking over, and we have in this case, you can actually change one slide on the front, any slide you like, and change that to not meet the slide master if you change it on the front. So if I change this to something else, it won't affect the others, and if I put in a new slide, it won't affect the new slide. So sometimes you can have instances under the exam where you want a different effect. Slide must have taken over on that particular slide. It could be a diagram slide, for example. So you want to do something different. The other thing is, if we go to the tier, it's asking us to put in title slide in the first one. So I'll stick to what we're doing before I keep going off on a tangent. And then what it says is it closed. So we've done that, and we're going back into the master, and you can see how things can change. So you can see at the moment they're all the same, apart from the one I changed. Even if we did this one, slide 6. If we go back into the slide master, so back to view, back to slide master, and if we went up to the top one, it's saying, notice how all the titles were changed. So even though we did this one differently before, it's already now we've gone in, clicked in. So if we did this one by aerial rounded, so back to home, AR, like that, and you might have seen a quick change there. So when I actually come back to the slide master and close it, everything, even the title slide, gets overtaken, but not the one we did on the front. So it just points out how much control that will have. That main slide, it's really important to use it. Okay, so back to our PowerPoint on slide master. Okay, another area that needs to be covered for the syllabus and in real life is the areas within the master slide that we haven't done as yet. And that's about inserting a whole new slide master, which would have every the same different types of slide layouts in it, but it might be that it's completely different, a whole different design, You might modify it slightly to meet your needs, and it can also be a slide master that holds another person's presentation or PowerPoint within there so that it can switch to it when it's their turn to present. So let's have a look at that one first. So if we go into the one that we did earlier, presentation, we've still got this one. Let's open this up. So if we go into the view again and into the slide master, we looked at what we could do within the slide, but there are some areas that we need to look at for the exam. So with regard to inserting new slide master, I've just talked about it, what it'll do. And there's something else alongside which is called insert layout. And then we're going to be looking at different types of placeholders that you can use for those customized slides. So the first thing is if you click on, away from that, if you're clicked on the very top one here and we insert a slide master, it'll still go all the way down to the end because that's where it starts. So this slide master, if you like, might be in, let's just try and change them. So we've got a gradient color of blue. And this one, the new one here, could be a gradient color of green. Let's just pull that stop off. So we've got green and white. Okay, so you can pull those away so they don't apply. So that would be a whole different slide master, and you could switch between them if you wanted to do different things. The other thing that they may ask you to look at is on the next bit of the slide is inserting a customized slide. So if you hover on there, if you're not sure in the exam, you can always hover on these things if you're not sure. So you've got add a custom layout to the master slide set. So it's something you can create and then you can pick up from the slide layout. So if we inserted one, it might say to insert one after the master, tell you where it wants it. Insert layout, there it is. And this one, we could actually just maybe take the placeholders out. So if we click on the borders of the date holder and delete, and maybe the footer as well. We might just change this one to have a bit more green in it. You can see it's staying different to the others. Another area they may ask you to use is to put in a placeholder. There's picture placeholders. So they would be straightforward in uploading a picture. One of the ones that they use to be aware of in the exam is a media. So you might have a media one where you're going to bring a film in. And if it is about making these particular or specific, there's a format tab that goes with them. And that will give you information about its size. So you might want 8 by 16. You might be asked to do that. You might need it like that to fit your media video in. And your picture you could change as well. So all of these you can rotate and use the usual things that you do, align, etc. So that's it's just customizing that particular one. And you notice it's only got a page number on it. So if we then close the slide master back to there and close, if we went into our new slides, we've got the two different types. You've got your custom layout that we've just created, and then you've got your other slide master there as well. So you can use one or the other or both. And in the layout, you will also, if you right click there and you go to new slide, it'll just bring in a title and content. And this one, it follows the one previous. You put it in after a title and content, use new slide, because everyone does these all the time, but they don't really think about what they're bringing in. But if you want to bring in a customized slide, then you would go and get that customized layout, and there it is ready to go. So going back to our presentation, our guide, if you like, through this, switching windows back, and you can see that we've covered the inserting layout, and then the placeholders is another area too, as well as another master slide. And there it is about picking up and using that customized areas of slides, because not all of the slides in there will suit our needs. Okay, so that's it there. And then that takes us on to creating templates. So we're going to have a little quick look at templates. So once a template's been used and saved, you have to make it go into a particular folder if that's where you want to pick it up again. If you put it into the custom folder, you can pick it up through open and new. So when you go into open and new, you have an area where you've got customized presentations, and you might pick them up from the templates there. And if you've created one and saved it in here, you'll be able to pick it up on a regular basis. If I just come back, we go to our design, we have and you can browse. You could go and browse to your themes if that's what you wanted to do. And on this one, this is our custom design slide that we created called Office, and that's the one we use for the presentations of ECDL to keep consistency. So they can always be popped in there as well. You can add a particular design that you've got, customized design, to your gallery. So it says insert a slide and content slide in the slide master, change fonts to Georgia, font color. So they're all the different things. It's just running over what we've just done. I'll let you do that, and then save as a template to your desktop. So if you're in the exam and you were doing a save as, use the browse again to bring up the dialog box. When you change something into a template, then be aware that it goes to custom Office templates, and you can see that there's some in there that is normally on your C drive. In the exam, you need these to make sure that you are saving your template to the Z drive, to make sure that doesn't switch and change. This is where you would pick up ones that you want to be picked up by customizing. So that's it really in that area. It's pretty much everything with regard to templates. We're just going to look at a couple of other options that you can also use in this. So there's an option here where you can copy and paste text into a slide outline. And this is good because you can bring stuff actually from a Word document. So let's have a go at this. So we've got a slide 1 title induction, new slide, slides from outline, and we're going to navigate to a Word document called induction. So if we just come down here, so we've got a new blank presentation. Let's follow this, just bring it over. So use the Word doc induction from the section 1 preparation folder. So if we click in here and we go into the slide there, there's something called slides from outlines. So we're going to use this feature. Instead of copying and pasting things in, we can actually use this. We're going to our desktop. I'm going to go to my desktop, pick up my lecture files, week 2, files, and then bring an induction, and then give it a moment. And what should happen is it's actually brought in those pieces of text in an outline format. So if we open this up and go to view, outline, do you remember the quick editing? That's where it's dropped it, and then it's gone on to separate slides automatically. My first one is still blank. If we look at the document itself in the work files, let's close that, don't need that anymore. So if we go back in the work files, sorry, they were there, there's the induction, and this is what we just brought in using the outlines feature. Really useful. So instead of having to copy and paste from there onto each slide, it's just brought these in and automatically bulleted them, given them headings, and then bulleted the other bits. Okay, it worked really well. Another little feature, just close that we can look at is the next one down, which is about reusing slides. So people do once again duplicate or copy or all those things into a PowerPoint. But what you can do is if you can click at the end, let's use our slide we've just had open here. So back to normal view so we can see the slides, and let's click there. And we can go to back to the home, and we're still using this new slide. So there's our slides from outline, and then we can reuse slides. So okay, so if you use this reuse slides feature, instead of copying and pasting them in, we can drop these at the end of this slide. So this presentation has a bubbles design to it. We can pop these in and keep the existing design, or we can keep the sourcing and bring them in as they are. So it's quite useful. Then they can be hidden and brought out if they're needed, or etc. So that's the features, both of them in the new slide and their slides from outline and reuse slides. Very, very useful. So back to our guide presentation. There they are. Okay, so the final slide in this week 2 area to have a look at are the file formats compatible with PowerPoint. So be aware of them, particularly one that's been highlighted. A lot of people don't really know that one. Also, the PowerPoint show is unusual to some. It just means it opens straight up in PowerPoint, so you don't need to start it. But the rest are pretty much what we know: POTX, your template, PDS we know, the old PPT and the new PPTX. Okay, so just be aware of all of those. That's the final slide on the first lecture, week 2. And I'm going to follow this up with the weekly revision exercises that are going to be questions 1 to 4.